I'm gonna try and put my baby on my back with my woven wrap. I'm using a base size, which is a size 5 for me, or 5. She's having a little more reflux right now, and her tummy's not quite as happy, so we'll see if this works out. One thing to consider if you do have a reflux baby, or a baby just who is more sensitive with their tummy, just be aware that when you're putting them onto your back, they're likely going to spit up on you. So decide if that's worth it to you or not. To get this ready, I would highly recommend starting on a bed or couch, somewhere where it is softer if there's a little bit of a mistake. Obviously, you should be very, very confident with your woven wrap on front, maybe even the hip. Practice a few different things. Get comfortable with how the fabric moves before considering something like a back carry. Now, this is a Didymos Prima blend, or Prima woven. I highly recommend their wraps for beginners just because it is grippy. It's a little bit thinner, but not so thin. I mean, they have a variety, but I just find it's all around a good option for those most familiar with a woven wrap with a stretchy wrap to move into. But when I do this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the base of her neck right at the top, right on that center marker. You gonna work with mommy? Hi. And I'm going to take this fabric down here and I'm going to start bunching it. And it's going to bunch behind these little legs right here. And then I'm going to continue working up the fabric. Yeah, kind of creating this little cradle. So that fabric's all going together. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to throw it over with the other one. Take my hand, and so I'm going to spread it kind of like this. These 2 fingers are going to go inside the fabric. I have my thumb and then 2 fingers on the outside to hold this. I'm going to snug up all of this fabric. She's got a nice little seat here. And then I'm going to pick her up. So I don't want a bunch of extra fabric in her face. I'm going to take this away. And yeah, I'm going to snug this up closer to her face so she has more support there. I'm going to use my arm to help guide her onto my back. Ready? So up and over. Now when I've got her here, I'm going to bring my other hand to the back and I'm going to slowly wiggle her down into place, holding onto here. Yeah. Up over my head, keeping tension on both. I'm going to hold onto her with one hand. I'm going to start tensioning up this fabric. So we've got a nice seat. I could let go if I need to, but I'm going to take one piece. So you could do this over the bed or you could do it standing. I think it's going to be easier to show if I'm standing. So I'm going to use my hand to kind of position her where I want her, which is nice and high. I'm going to go through and tighten this fabric. I do have them between my knees to trap that fabric. All right, so now this one. Yeah, that's a good job. I'm going to put it between my knees and then I can work on this other side. So one thing to consider is when you put this fabric up, usually this is going to get kind of wrapped behind a little bit. You want to make sure it comes back around and you're snugging up all that fabric. So I've got this nice little seat. She's sitting there. She's supported by the wrap. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take these pieces. So I'm going to put one between my legs to start. Take this. It's going to go under my shoulder, over this leg, under a leg. You can see that. Over and under. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just put it between my knees. Same on this side. I'll show you from a different angle. Over one leg and under the other. And then you might need to adjust when they're tiny, tiny. So it should look like this. And from the back, you've got it crossing. Leg here and leg here. Now I want to keep this nice and high, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one piece at a time, providing tension with this one between my knees, and I'm going to guide it. Here's the fabric, and it's going to go over and down. Hey. And I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going up above my chest because she's so tiny. Oh, so over and down. Did we just spit up? Yeah. Okay, and then we can kind of gently bounce. There we go. Oh, that's a big yawn. All right. Do you think you're hungry? I just fed you. You just want to snuggle? All right, so she's nice and high. She's getting cheeks. She's getting cheeks. Everyone tells me she's not. She is. She's getting cheeks. I feel like she is. Yes, you are. So nice and high. Face is free of fabric. I can hear her breathing in my ear. Right? Yeah. I can feel her breathing against my back. So if I just take a second, I can feel her breaths against my back, like from her chest moving. Sometimes it might take a little settling, like any position. And then you have a nice high back carry.